Kid Rock co-founded a traveling music festival and called it Rock the Country. The lineup originally included Jason Aldean, Gretchen Wilson, Shinedown, Creed is somehow still relevant, and even Ludacris. Yes, Luda, which should have been the first clue that the booking process might not have been going smoothly. And then one by one, acts have left the tour. Ludacris even said it was a mix-up and he was never actually booked. Creed quietly disappeared from the website. Shinedown posted a statement saying that their purpose was to unite, not divide. Morgan Wade left, Carter Faith left, and then the South Carolina date was canceled entirely. And look, here's what I think's happening here. We know it. There is a market for MAGA-branded entertainment. It's real, but it's smaller than the people running it think. It's tiny. It's your county fair. It's the band going on stage at 10 p.m. on a Wednesday night amongst fried Oreos and the 4-H auction. And the acts that are still willing to participate in this MAGA-branded bullcrap, they're openly putting out their political branding. And those bands are few and far between now. Because there's nothing cool about MAGA. There's nothing cool about starting illegal wars for no reason or defending child abusers. And I went back and read Shinedown's statement a couple of times. They didn't say this was about Trump. They didn't mention politics at all. They said, quote, "Our band's purpose is to unite, not divide. We do not want to participate in something we believe will create further division." In 2026, that sentence lands a certain way. It's essentially saying nothing, just with a few more words. Now, organizers still insist that other dates are still happening in tiny little towns all over the country, Ocala, Sioux Falls, Hamburg. And it still features Kid Rock and Jason Aldean and Blake Shelton and Jelly Roll, and presumably Brooks and Dunn, if they're still around, they're still attached to this tour. And in a way, maybe you could write this off as some story that's normal touring chaos. We've seen it before. Lineups, they fall apart. Promoters may oversell. Dates get cut. It happens. But then you have to read statements like the one that Shinedown put out. It had nothing to do with tour organization. They posted a statement. It was a weak statement, but it was an intentional statement. They were trying to say that they were aware that this event was out there to divide, that this event was out there to represent the divisions in this country and this MAGA branding that we're all sick of. And the comparison to this tour that keeps coming up is Bad Bunny. Obviously, we saw what happened when he headlined the Super Bowl, getting the second largest halftime show ever. And he drew the largest streaming numbers in the country by far. Meanwhile, Kid Rock was headlining the Turning Point USA counter show during halftime and having to explain how he was not lip syncing, he was just out of sync. One of those events, is losing venues and acts. The other is still breaking streaming records. Rock the Country said it was supposed to be apolitical. The festival statement says it's about a wide range of voices and backgrounds and stories that make up this country. But you've got Kid Rock, the man who shot Bud Light and visited the White House in a sequined American flag jacket. Jason Aldean's most recent single was essentially just a shitty political statement set to a shitty backing track. And then you have Jelly Roll walking a tightrope because he doesn't want to give away his political affiliation. And you can feel the tension. The real story here is that MAGA branding, it might be real, but it has real costs in the entertainment industry because nothing is cool about MAGA. The acts that are willing to absorb these costs are narrowing. The acts that aren't willing to absorb the costs are leaving, and they're starting to say it out loud with weak statements, but it's still out there. And so look, this is not a music story. This is a cultural story and a story about how our culture is shifting away from MAGA, thankfully.
They called it closed, filed away, forgotten. But some truths don't stay buried. Time doesn't erase guilt. A reckoning is always just around the corner. A death in Arcadia. Justice has a long memory.